Rob from HopZine.com. Thanks for joining me for another video beer review. This time we are looking at a bottle of Wheat is the New Hops. It's a collaboration between Mikkeller and Grassroots. I think both gypsy brewers and both Danish, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think they are. It's 6% ABV, so it's brewed as an IPA with Citra and Centennial, and then it's fermented with brettanomyces. And obviously it's been brewed with a lot of wheat, so I guess they're intended to be kind of like a wheat beer or wheat ale of some description. Hopped like an IPA and then fermented with Brett, which it's meant to be a very interesting beer, is this. So I can't see much else from the bottle as it's all in Danish. I was trying to be a bit quick with that then, so I expected it to be a bit lively with it being Brett. A lot of Belgian beers are a bit lively. I'm not seeing a load of sediment in here, which is quite surprising. I mean, nice. Oh wow, so clear looking. How interesting. How interesting that is. I was expecting something a bit more, like quite a big head, something lively, looking a bit murky because of the wheat, I guess. Those kind of longer, stretchier kind of proteins. So the beer in the glass is super clear. I mean, it looks like a McLager, really. It's very pale gold. A nice amount of carbonation. Not too much, but there's definitely some there. Quite a soapy looking head. Let's give it a swirl. Let's have a sniff. Woo! The Brett has done a big number on this one. It's all, and I'm sure kind of people from the UK will get this more than people international. Those little foam banana sweets smells exactly like that. And yeah, there is, before you kind of get too much of that banana, you do get some hops, slightly earthy and spicy, but nice and citric. I'm trying to kind of like not get too close to it. Yeah, nice and kind of soft orange, but then eventually that big waft of kind of synthetic banana really jumps up in there. I'm not getting much more than that, to be honest, at the moment. I'll see if I do later on. Anyway, let's dig in. Cheers. That's really nice and very, very nice. That's really nice and really interesting. It's got all those kind of touchdowns really. Soft banana, quite creamy. The bitterness of lemon rind. Grassy, kind of. I'd have never said this had the kind of Centennial and Citra in it. Look at that. Bitterness of Sarts. And that's at the back end. Really kind of quite floral, fragrant grapefruit and really tart lemon rind. To start with, it's quite soft. Like cheese, and then drops off and becomes quite soft, and then it starts building, and it does get quite bitter, but it's nicer. It's really nice, a nice level of bitterness. Ends pithy and bitter, but pleasant. A lovely kind of floral kind of aftertaste wafting around it. It's got a bit of that banana in there. Not loads. That's really, really interesting. It's kind of like, it really reminds me of Orval. Maybe not as herbal as Orval, but kind of like a modern version of it, without even trying to be it. Because I know Mikkeller do a tribute to Orval, which is called It's Alright. I've never had the American version, which is called It's Alive. No, it's Alive. It's Alive. That's the Orval tribute. And I thought that was quite Orval-like, but this is kind of like if a modern brewery made Orval, it had a bit more kind of restraint, a bit more kind of that precise kind of aggressive flavours, and it's like happening here, it's happening there. It's very kind of like focused in that sense. Maybe not as well crafted as something like Orval, which is probably one of the best beers in the world, like, in my opinion. But that's lovely. That is really nicely done. You can see that. You can see the presence of Brett can make. I guess to kind of make my point more succinct. The addition of brettanomyces is so characteristic of a beer like Orval. You cannot help but use that as a touch point on kind of when you're referencing Brett tastes in a beer, and especially in a pale ale, and you can definitely see it in this. As I said, a bit more bitter, a bit more dry, not as fragrant as something like Orval. But if you like Orval, I think you'll like this. Don't expect it to be exactly the same, because why would you want it to be exactly the same? Just buy Orval, it's awesome. But if you want something a little bit different, get this. And I can see this with kind of like, if eating it with like quite a spicy chicken dish or something like that, a nice because it's lovely and hot outside at the moment, a nice kind of summery salad, maybe a bit of smoked salmon in there, which will cut through that kind of like bit of that the fishy smokiness of something like that, and sit really nicely with that dry Brett quality and those kind of pithy herbal hop qualities as well. It's very nice, it's very different, and I think it just works really well. It's a brave move, and it worked out. It wasn't as mental as I thought it might have been. Yeah, I don't know, there's much sediment in there, so for my second pour I'm not going to have a whole load of yeast in there. So anyway, less waffle. So that's a collaboration between Grassroots and Mikkeller. Wheat is the new hops, 6% ABV, very respectable ABV. Days like today, this is the kind of beer you want to be drinking. A load of very easygoing, sharp, summery flavours, but with a bit more character than your average kind of lager. It's a lovely beer, check it out. Anyway, I'm Rob from HopZine.com. See you next time. Cheers.